If you've ever worked in an organization that has a female CEO, you're most likely going to understand what I'm talking about. And again, I'm saying most likely because it's not all women. However, there are some women who were promoted to become the CEO of an organization because there was a gender quota that had to be implemented. It doesn't matter if the female CEO has the right experience or qualifications. No, sir. What mattered was that she was female. And this has happened in many organizations all over the world now, from large conglomerates that sell household items to food and beverage companies and even financial institutions. Imagine if you were running a large organization. Suddenly, you get an email from the board of directors that they need to finalize a female CEO candidate because otherwise, the investors are going to stop investing in the company. You look around and see some potential, but not enough to actually make a female CEO. They still pressure you, and then tell you that whoever is closest to being the most senior female executive is now the CEO. And now comes the fun part. The female CEO has no clue what's going on in the company. She meets the chief financial officer and has no idea what he's talking about. She meets the human resources director and doesn't understand what that person is talking about or what the HR director even does. She visits the factories but doesn't even know the processes. In all of this, the organization suffers. As a result, the men have to do their female counterparts' jobs as well, stay at work late, take on more responsibilities to keep the company running, and not even get paid for it. While the female CEO refuses to acknowledge that she needs to understand a couple of things, and instead starts firing the men who are bringing value to the company. Women on power trips are not only ruining their own careers, but they're ruining the hard work of the men who built these companies. Women absolutely complicate the simplest things in the workplace. If you told a man to turn on the lights, he would go to the light switch and flip it. If you told a woman that, she would want to hold meetings, talk about why the light switch is on the wall near the door instead of on another wall, and come up with a procedure on how to turn on a light, and will produce a PowerPoint detailing that. On top of it, she'll ask for a raise for this effort that she put in. The thing is, companies can't even define what harassment is. They paint it with a broad brush, something like compliments, striking up a conversation, or even just saying hello to a woman is termed as harassment, and she has the right to put you in trouble with HR. It has created this toxic company culture where men isolate themselves from women. In a meeting, you will see the men pick seats in one section of the room mostly, and it's the women who try to place themselves there. Remote work has men also not wanting to go back to the office just to avoid these female interactions. And as much as corporates are trying to force people back into the office, you see a lot of men quitting the workforce altogether and starting their own businesses. The most amazing thing about all this is the fact that women are fully aware of these consequences looming over their heads, and yet they can't seem to adjust their behaviors accordingly, nor do they make any attempts at reining in other women, even when their own livelihood and career is in danger. Nope, they actually do everything they can to inflate the situations they instigate. The reality is that men would rather work more freely with other men. This only serves to demonstrate how increasingly wary males have become of women throughout time, especially in the last 10 years, and how much they would prefer to communicate and work with other guys. In cubicles, meetings, and boardrooms, they prefer to work with other males rather than women, because they can share information, talk about ideas, and organize their schedules together. Women and men can both achieve great things and add similar value to organizations. Yes, but women commonly adhere to their own nature and bring it into the culture at the workplace. You must have heard of someone being falsely accused of misogyny or some sort of harassment allegation who got fired from his job and could never recover financially because no other company would hire him. That's right. Men have started to avoid women in the workplace because they know one call to the human resources manager from a woman can potentially make them lose their source of income and reputation. Men will always be guilty in the eyes of corporate authority. Nowadays, until you can prove your innocence, you are guilty. Men are most afraid of this. God forbid if a woman even alleges that a guy harassed her at work. That man will lose his job and any chance of getting another employment in the future, along with his reputation and self-esteem. That is the enormous advantage that women have over men at work. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that 21% of men said they would be reluctant to hire a woman for a job that needs an intimate connection, like traveling for business. 19% of the males responded that they would be reluctant to hire a woman who was deemed attractive by social norms. This was the result of a survey taken from employees working in various businesses. The survey also noted that similar surveys taken in the past did not garner similar results. In the previous surveys, men were more comfortable interacting with women in office settings. Previously, 15% of men compared to 21% in the later surveys indicated they would be less likely to recruit women for positions that demand close interpersonal interactions. As I said before, the reality is that men would rather work more freely with other men. This only serves to demonstrate how increasingly wary males have become of women throughout time, especially in the last 10 years, and how much they would prefer to communicate and work with other guys. In cubicles, meetings, and boardrooms, they prefer to work with other males rather than women, because they can share information, talk about ideas, and organize their schedules together. This is due to their fear of losing the career they have worked so hard to build over a long period of time. They may lose everything with just one unfounded accusation. In a society that primarily takes into account and believes what women say, one false charge could end up being the villain. At most companies, all a woman has to do is make an accusation against a man. True or not, most companies have a zero-tolerance policy, and the man is fired before any investigation is done. The best-case scenario is that he is sent home without pay while the investigation is carried out. Over the years, I have seen this happen many times. In some cases, the man and woman were dating. If the man broke up with the woman, she would make something up out of retaliation. If the woman broke up with the man, she would make something up just because she didn't want to be around him. It's simple. Women will talk about the work. Men will do the work. A carpenter's rule is to measure twice and cut once. Good rule. Notice that the rule isn't to talk about measuring 15 times, then measuring 4 times, then tell everyone about the measurements 3 times, then cutting once, then ask how everyone feels about the cut 5 times. And it's not just that. Women managers are also increasingly reluctant to hire women. They find younger women to be less productive and more likely to waste time socializing, and cattier, causing unnecessary and counterproductive drama in the workplace. Also, around the age of 30, younger women realize that their reproductive window is closing and leave to start families, taking their training and experience with them just when they are becoming productive. Many women I know proudly bring their emotions to work. Most men I know tend to leave theirs at the door. Men treat work as a place to escape their personal life. From my experience, women like to mix the personal with the professional. They see nothing wrong with it. It seems fine, up to the point those feelings are hurt, and suddenly what should be professional feedback becomes a visit to HR for any man involved. So if you're worried your organization is going down because of a gender quota female CEO, don't worry. The organization knows it too. It's only time before the board of directors comes to its senses. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.